This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Furniture maker killed in Westmoreland. A furniture maker is Westmoreland's latest murder victim. 45-year-old Oral Wright was shot dead in his community of Nonpareil in Negril on Sunday morning. Reports are that Wright was trailed by his attackers shortly after 4 a.m. They shot him multiple times before making their escape. According to the police, residents heard explosions and summoned them. Upon their arrival, Wright was found lying in a pool of blood on the roadway with multiple upper body wounds. He was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. A man who is a friend of the deceased and who did not want to be identified told the news that Wright was an easygoing man. He shared that Wright also operated a nightclub in Negril. "Him running business. Me know him. A years now me know him," he said. "Anytime we open we eyes and see sunshine, we have to give God thanks," he added in disbelief. Scores of social media users who learned of the tradesman's death commented on the state of crime in the parish. "What happened to the western side? Let us all pray," one Facebook user shared. "We tired of it. Westmoreland again," another Facebook user commented. Wright is said to have done contracted work for a large number of furniture stores in the parish. "He make furniture for the Indian businessman them," a man told the news. According to the statistics recorded by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, up to May 27, there has been a 64.9% increase in the number of murders committed in Westmoreland this year compared to last year. There have been 61 murders committed in the parish this year, compared to 37 murders committed over the corresponding period last year. Gunshots erupt during Skeng's performance in Guyana. Jamaican artist Skeng had to cut his performance at a weekend Baderation dancehall concert in Guyana shortly after gunshots erupted at the venue. The incident occurred as the 21-year-old was performing his popular single Protocol. Videos of overzealous fans firing guns into the air were captured and posted to social media. The videos have since gone viral. The shooting caused the event to end in chaos as patrons ran for their lives. A vendor from Georgetown was arrested following the incident, and an illegal 9mm pistol with one live round of ammunition was seized. Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Hickin subsequently summoned a meeting with members of the Guyana Police Force's top brass to discuss the incident. The security posture and the lack thereof at the event was discussed, and the recommendations were made for stricter compliance prior to the hosting of any such events in the future, the GPF said in a statement. The Guyana Police Force said some of the things discussed at the meeting related to stakeholder approach with promoters, members of the fire service, GRA, and the police, increase the police posture in partnership with the private sector, prohibition of beverages in bottles, only plastic cups and bottles will be allowed, improve the security search, metal detectors and the scanners will be employed. The Guyana Police Force said it is reviewing CCTV and the social media materials to identify and arrest the persons who discharged rounds in the air at the event in the national park. The authorities have asked members of the public to come forward with any information about the shootings. Body believed to be of missing bartender found in shallow grave. Detectives in St. Anne have arrested a man in connection with the suspected murder of a woman after her decomposing body was found in a shallow grave in Runaway Bay in the parish on Friday. The body is suspected to be that of 25-year-old Rochelle Glaze, a bartender of a St. Elizabeth address. According to reports, Glaze was working at a bar in Salem, also in Runaway Bay. Family members reported her missing on Wednesday of this week after they failed to make contact with her. However, sources say Glaze was last seen at a bar in Runaway Bay, reportedly in the company of a man on Saturday, May 21. Following an initial probe by the police, a man from the parish was detained and questioned. Acting on intelligence, the police went to the Cardiff Hall area of Runaway Bay on Friday and found a shallow grave near to an abandoned building. The body was later exhumed and removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination at a later date. The post-mortem is to determine the cause of death. The man now in police custody is to be further questioned as investigators further probe the matter, including the new development. Treat predial larceny as organized crime, PNP tells the government. Opposition spokesman on agriculture, Lothan Cousins, is urging the government to amend the funds under the Agricultural Produce Act from the current $250,000 to at least $5 million to help stem the scourge of predial larceny, which is costing farmers billions of dollars in annual losses. Cousins, during his recent contribution to the 2022-2023 sectorial debate in the House of Representatives, where he made the call, noted that over the past 5 years, stakeholders have asked for this to be done to bring this act under the Proceeds of Crime Act and treat predial larceny as organized crime. It is common knowledge that some criminals are trading meat for guns and as such prey on farmers. The change in the act with other measures would demonstrate that we are serious about supporting and protecting our farmers from predial thieves, Cousins stated. Continuing, he said, "I am certain that any government which proposes these amendments will receive overwhelming bipartisan support for such a critical issue, having regard to the fact that all of us here have constituents who would at some time relate to us the hardships faced because of these criminals who are hell-bent on not only depriving our farmers of their livelihood, but also their lives." During his contribution to the sectorial debate last year, Cousins urged both the Firearm Licensing Authority and the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries to work together to fast-track firearm licenses for farmers to protect them from farm thieves. Cousins noted then that thieves are often armed when they go to steal. According to Cousins, the Member of Parliament for Clarendon Southwest, farmers should be given the opportunity to protect their crops and their livelihoods. "I can recall vividly as a child growing up in Clarendon, in the plains of Clarendon, seeing farmers in my community going to the bush to tend to their cows and their goats, and they had their shotguns over their shoulder. And there is a saying, Madam Speaker, that in life the more things change, the more they remain the same," he said then. 2 St. Anne men charged with robbery with aggravation and wounding. 2 men have been charged with robbery with aggravation and unlawful wounding following an incident on Main Street in Ocheria, St. Anne on Saturday, May 14. The men have been identified as a 30-year-old Noreen Bolton, otherwise called Wayne, a laborer, and Dwayne Small, a construction worker, both of Mansfield Heights in Ocherias. Reports from the Ocherias police are that about 4 a.m., the complainant was standing on the roadway when he was approached by 4 men who proceeded to rob him of an Alcatel cellular phone and a wallet containing US $10 and a Jamaican $2,000. One of the accused then used a knife to inflict stab wounds to the complainant's upper body. The second accused then used a machete to inflict several wounds to the complainant. The complainant managed to escape and was assisted to the hospital, where he was treated and released. An investigation was launched and both men were charged on Friday, May 27. Historic DPP appeal against the lenient murder sentence to be heard tomorrow. The first case brought by prosecutors since the law was changed last year, giving limited right of appeal against acquittals and the sentences, is scheduled for hearing tomorrow. Court of Appeal Justices Frank Williams, Nicole Simmons, and Evan Brown are set to hear the matter. Prosecutors from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions will be seeking to have the 12-year prison term imposed on Westmoreland man Lindell Powell significantly increased. Powell was sentenced in December last year to 12 years imprisonment each following his guilty plea for 2 counts of murder. The sentences are to run concurrently, so Powell would only serve 12 years. However, Supreme Court Justice Bertram Morrison, who tried the case, ruled that Powell should not be eligible for parole until he has served 10 years. He pleaded guilty to the January 2017 murder of Oral McIntosh and Ida Clark, which took place in Westmoreland. DPP Paula Llewellyn has argued that the sentence was unduly lenient and inadequate given the circumstances of the cases. Powell had convictions for 2 firearm offenses at the time of his murder convictions and was sentenced in August 2019 to 18 months imprisonment each count. After Powell was sentenced for the double murder, the DPP's office issued a statement saying the prosecutor had indicated on record when the plea was being entered that the Crown had made a recommendation on the sentence to be imposed. The recommendation was that Powell should be sentenced to life on each count with eligibility for parole after serving 21 years. Powell was one of the 6 men who were found not guilty in July 2020 of charges under the anti-gang legislation during the trial of alleged members of the Westmoreland-based Kings Valley Gang. The Judicature Appellate Jurisdiction Amendment Act 2021 and the Judicature Parish Court Amendment Act 2021 gave the prosecution limited right of appeal in criminal proceedings in the Parish Court and the Supreme Court. Some defense lawyers spoke out against the move. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.